we've been traveling around Spain for the past 3.5 months, and we've been to like the north, the south, to the north again, and we just did a circle or triangle, and we wanted to tell you the top places we've been.
Woo! Yeah, we decided to go with 6 because, I don't know, we have 6 lovely places we want to tell you about. And number 6 is the Mirador de Masatrigo. This is just a hill, really, but a really beautiful hill surrounded by water in this area that has a lot of lakes. Has a big dam and a bunch of big lakes around it. And the hill itself just looks like a perfect cone. So it was just a really beautiful and interesting sight. We thought it was a volcano at first, but it's not a volcano, it's just a hill.
What I liked about the place is that it was so green, especially when Sasha went on top there and filmed. It looked so green and so nice. You feel like you want to just cuddle with it.
Green and then blue all around.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's not always like that because we came there after a bunch of rain. So, but anyway, even if it's not green, it could be yellow. And it has a really cool shape, and there are some little hikes you can do in the area to see a beautiful view. And it looks a little bit more, I don't know, a little different to many of the other places we've seen, and a bit different to how you would imagine Spain to look.
And in terms of like a motorhome, you may have to drive on some really sketchy roads to go around that place, but we even got stuck in that place. So in terms of driving there, it's nice when you go around that thing, that cone, that's this normal road, but if you want to go and park somewhere and camp, and we didn't find a good place for that, we parked somewhere else a bit far from that place.
But otherwise, a super cool location, yeah?
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Number 5, the Aguila Cave. Super cool cave. We've been to the cave and we paid like 11 euros, something like that each. It was a guide and all of that, so we don't quite like that, but the cave itself was so white kinda, and so out of this world because of the calcium, I think, that was dripping with the water and accumulated on this, like, we call them stalactites, I think, stalagmites. I don't know what's the difference exactly.
Stalagmites are from the top and stalagmites from the bottom, and then they meet and form a cone. And they were just beautiful. And you can see this dark rock, I think, which had a lot of iron in it, so it was kind of reddish. So you have this really big contrast between these like white stalagmites and stalactites and the dark rock in the back, and it was just beautiful cave.
Yeah, so this Aguila Cave was, it looked like a movie prop, almost like they made this for a movie with like Superman or whatever, but it was real, and because the lights that they put there reflected so much light back, and that you will feel like you are in a fantasy movie or a story. It felt amazing, and it was quite big, and it was just us and 2 more people and a guide. So it was not too crowded. It was quite easy to reach there, to go there, I think, and they have a big parking, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, and the guide tells you a lot of interesting information, only in Spanish, so we can kind of understand.
I did not understand much.
Some of it.
I thought I understand Spanish, but this guy was speaking so fast and so like, I'm like, I don't know if I could understand anything. But anyway, if you could understand it, it would be even better. We read about it before, so we knew a few things about it, but the Aguila Cave was
very cool. Número 4. The Caminito del Rey. So this is a beautiful hike that goes on top of a very steep gorge. It's in the south, close to Malaga, and it's a very famous, very popular hike. And actually, it's not just a hike, it has all kinds of little walkways that, allow you to walk above the gorge. And because of that, you actually have to reserve ahead of time and buy tickets. They give you helmets before you go, and they're kind of very strict about it. So it's not like a normal hike, it's more like a popular tourist attraction, but because it's so beautiful and you have this beautiful river, beautiful gorge, amazing rock walls all around you, it's totally worth it, even with all of the tourists that are with you.
And we've been there in kind of off season, but I bet on high season it will be so crowded. Even when we've been there, it's a bit difficult to drive there and to find parking. So there were quite a lot of people, but the walk, I think it was amazing. It's like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not that long, but because it's so beautiful, you want to do it really slowly. So if you want to do it in the summer, you have to book way ahead of time probably. And they also tell you that you have to go with a guide, even though when you arrive you can tell them that I don't want to go with a guide, and they let you just go on your own. And actually the parking was not bad. There was a pretty good spot where you can park a motorhome.
Yes, but
Really close to
what I
the-
was saying is that if it's crowded,
Yeah.
if it's crowded, it was already, there are so many motorhomes there. We were lucky to find a really nice spot, but if it's high season, it's going to be crazy, I think.
Everything in Spain will be crazy in high season.
Number 3. This one, we put it on the list so high up because I would say it's quite a unique place again. Bardenas Reales is a desert basically in the north of Spain, and the rocks that have formed there over, I think, thousands of years, it's so alien. They look so alien, and it's like you have to take the car and go for like hours and hours and hours and see these rock formations, and you can stop some places and take photos, whatever. That was for me not as the most pleasant in terms of like feeling like you are there visiting the park, because you always drive with the car. However, it's such a spectacular landscape. It's such a unique one. Sometimes you'll climb on top of some of these mountainish, hillish structures, these rocks, and you can see the rest in such a vast area. It was really nice.
A big vast emptiness with a bunch of oddly shaped rocks poking out in the distance. So it was really beautiful. This is like the Arizona of Spain, basically.
Yeah, I saw that in a documentary, and with Brian Cox about the solar system, I think, and I said, wow, that rock looks quite interesting where they are filming, and then I searched for that and I found it in Spain, and that's how we found this park in the north of Spain. But it was really worth it. It's again a really unique experience. You will never forget this kind of unique place. And when we show photos to people, even the people from Spain, they're like, is this Spain? Like, how is this place Spain? How is desert and this kind of alien structures, how is it possible to be here in Spain?
Yeah, and it's just like 4 or 5 hours from Barcelona, probably.
Yeah.
And also it's free. You don't have to pay to enter the park. They have an information center there where they give you all the information you need about where to go. But basically you can just drive to different rock formations into different places, or you can bike if you have the opportunity. I think it could also be really cool if it's not too hot.
And the road itself is quite okay. Sometimes it's very narrow for a motorhome, but it's quite okay. Plus, there are special motorhome areas in the south, kind of southish of Bardenas, where you can park, or I think it's not too difficult to find places where you can park with the motorhome. So we parked very close to Bardenas Reales. It was a special parking for motorhomes, and that was not too bad. It was quite okay, I think.
Yeah, it had a really cool view actually, and it had some cool caves where people used to live right in front of the parking, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, great experience.
Number 2 was the Nerja Cave. Also in the south of Spain, not far from the Caminito del Rey, was a beautiful, beautiful cave. It was so huge, I don't have the words for it. So amazing. There's an amazing, huge chamber with the largest stalactite or stalagmite or column. I don't remember which one of those it was, but the largest formation out of any caves that they found, I believe. And also a lot of history. There used to be cave hyenas there. Ancient people used to live there, maybe even Neanderthals. It's really interesting, really amazing. And you can get free tickets If you go there at 9 a.m. on a weekday, you have to kind of book in advance, just a couple of days in advance. And that's nice that they allow people to go for free. The parking there for motorhomes was not the best. We just came there the night before, stayed overnight in a parking lot that we were not sure about. We weren't sure if we could stay there, if we would get a fine or not. And the next day we just woke up early, went straight to the cave, paid for the parking there, and right after the cave we left.
Yeah, well, I was shocked when I was inside that cave to see how big it is. It's just enormous, and because there are so many structures there, you don't realize how enormous it is until you see some human being far away walking on, like, down some or up some stairs. I'm like, wow, that's a human being there somewhere in the distance. And it's also the experience itself of the cave is much better than the Aguila Cave, because you basically go alone and the guide is digitized. You have an app and you can listen. We had Bluetooth headphones and we can listen from the phone. You go to some places and like, okay, this is number 1. You press play and you explain to you in English, for example, or other languages. And it's so cool because you have that in your ears and you can like look around and like, oh, they explain how humans used to live there, or cave hyenas, or how they discovered the cave. That's another interesting
there was an earthquake
story
there, and you can see that the fallen rocks from the earthquake.
Yeah. We liked it so much that we went and we took photos and we listened to everything, and then we're like, let's go another time, but don't take any photos, just like admire.
Go around, and we spent like 2 hours there or something. It's a pretty small area, but we just loved it so much. We just stayed, and you can just marvel at the structures for a really long time because it's so beautiful.
Number 1 best place we've visited. Well, this is a place that is quite big. In general, that's like a big place, but there's one specific thing about that place. So first of all, let's talk about the place itself. It's called Picos de Europa. These are some mountains in the north of Spain that I don't think many people might be aware of. I don't know, but I've never heard of these mountains before, and I lived in Spain for the past 15 years. But they are absolutely amazing. So, Picos de Europa. First of all, what we liked so much about Picos de Europa is a specific trail that we did. It's called, how is it called?
The Cares Trail.
The Cares Trail. It's a trail that, like, I think will be forever tattooed into my brain, because it's like 3 hours walk. It's like Caminito del Rey on steroids, and like no guides and no helmets. Okay? And much bigger mountains. Goats. So this was an amazing trail. You basically go in between 2 huge mountains, kind of. It's like a canyon, and you go like in the middle of these mountains through these sometimes carved paths. 3 hours one way, 3 hours the same way, but because you can see different parts of you can face one way or the other, it feels like there are 2 kind of routes. And to me, it's like I never felt so small, and to be surrounded by just ginormous things, like that was the best for me, the best experience. How about Sasha?
Yeah, it was really cool. They also have like little tunnels that they carved into the rock. Basically, they built the trail more than 100 years ago to connect 2 villages because of a hydroelectric dam. And because of that, they built this walkway similar to Caminito del Rey, except it's actually carved into the rock. And it also sits very high above a beautiful gorge, beautiful river, and really tall mountains. We went there in May, so the mountains were also snowy at the tops and just so beautiful. There are also some tunnels that you walk through, some bridges that you walk over, and goats that just come and just get in your way. And it's less of a big touristy, hypey attraction than the Caminito del Rey. This is just a hike, so you don't have to pay, you don't have to reserve or anything. You just go there. It is still busy, of course. It's a popular place, popular trail, so you have to go there early to find a parking spot near the trailhead if you don't want to walk too much. And then once you start walking, you feel more like you're in the nature and just beautiful. That's all I can say. It's really nice.
Yeah, and because it's so huge, honestly, I didn't feel like it was crowded or anything because it's really, really huge. But again, the feeling to like see in the distance some little humans going on that path, like I will have to go there. It's just unbelievable to me, to put that in perspective, how small we are in these mountains, how big they are. This is like a trail that makes you a bit of more of a human being. That's how I felt. Like I'm more closer to like, I feel more like of a human being. And yeah, when it comes to the parking, that was quite not a pleasant experience, really. So to go with the motorhome there, basically there are two ways to sleep overnight, because you have to kind of sleep overnight if you want to like go in the morning and do the trail and then come back, and maybe it's better to sleep somewhere close. It's a very close little town that's like 9 minutes away with a car. So that town has a motorhome parking. It's like a big parking for cars in general, but also specifically for motorhome they have places. We parked there, we went in the morning for 9 minutes close to the trail, and there it's a bit tricky to park somewhere. We really kind of struggled to find a place. We just park on the street somewhere, and then you can go do the trail. But we discovered that there is another parking very close by. It's just parking for cars, and I'll put it on the screen, and that was quite great. We stayed like 2-3 days there. We should have parked there. Basically it was less crowded and no services, nothing, just a parking in the middle of nowhere basically.
But a beautiful view, amazing view, and access to other trails. You can stay there for like a week and then hike all over that area, and it's just so gorgeous.
Yeah, so Ruta de Cares is the best, by far, the best.
Number one. And Picos de Europa generally, Picos de Europa National Park. We went to another village in Picos de Europa called Sotres. We parked there in just like a normal parking lot, but the view is incredible. There you can also go to some trails that go higher into the mountains. Then we went to Fuente de, it's like in the south of Picos de Europa, and you can take a cable cart up to the high mountains, so you don't have to walk all the way up to get into like this amazing...
We ended up there as like snow.
Yeah.
Basically, it was so cold suddenly, and these like mountains, they look like volcanic mountains. That's how it looks, like the rocks and everything. It looked again so alien. Suddenly you are in this like snowy kind of like woo sort of environment, and we did like 2 hours or so there, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, we just hiked around the top of those mountains, and it was really beautiful. Like also amazing views.
So I think Picos you can stay for a month without a problem around Picos. Do Ruta de Cares, Fuente de Sotres, and so many other parks, and we will go there for sure again. We will go there and do more of this. So yeah, that's our top place we've been to. What do you think overall about these places, Aja?
Yeah, really nice, really beautiful, all of them. Amazing. Yeah, Picos de Europa is definitely my favorite. Also just such a spectacular view. I mean, I walked across the Pyrenees a few years ago, and I've seen some beautiful places there, but I think Picos de Europa, I don't know, has something to it. So the way the mountains are, the way the rock is, it's just even more spectacular. It is a small mountain range, but quite steep and just gorgeous.
Even driving is spectacular. It's going to be like this all the time. But it's quite spectacular, and I am amazed to discover Spain in this way, like tall high mountains and deserts, and then this like cone-shaped hill that is so greenish, and this water and all of these places. There's amazing nature in Spain.
Yeah, and we tried to kind of get away from the normal tourist route, which is the Spanish coast. We've had enough of the coast because we were living by the sea for a while, so we wanted to go inland, into the mountains, into some more interesting, different kind of landscapes, and that's what we found, and it was nice.
Yeah, Spain, amazing natural places.
Places to be in Spain.